Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Rizu here, and before we actually get started, I will say this. If you or a loved one are actually dealing with any type of depression, self-hate, self-harm, or any of that stuff, please contact someone. Contact your loved ones. Talk to someone you love. They're always going to be there to listen to you. Obviously, there are going to be people that are going to give you advices, but other than that, there's always going to be people around you that will actually love you and listen to you. Don't ever think you're by yourself. If you ever need to call someone, call them too. I will also leave this phone number on screen right now for like a couple seconds, like maybe 10 seconds. That way you guys can save the number and then call them. Like, they'll always be there. They're experts at this stuff. So please, you're not alone. You are loved no matter what. You are enough for anyone. You're always going to be enough for the specific people in your life. Don't ever think that you're a horrible person. Don't ever think negatively by yourself. You're always loved no matter what. But yeah, if you ever get that, please talk to someone. Talk to your loved ones. They're always there for you. But anyways, welcome to Silent Hill.
The world is teeming with unnecessary people. It's God's decision that I fight. As a knight of honor, as a protector of the seal, I sacrifice myself to the blood of criminals.
And bam! That's how you actually use an intro. It's been a long time. But anyways, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Rizu here, and welcome back to another Silent Hill video. And I know it's been a very long time since I actually posted an actual video. The last one I actually posted was, I think, the Modern Warfare 2 audio pack. And, oh man, all I'm going to say right now, it's been a very fat minute. And we're already in Modern Warfare 3 Season 2, which, by the way, I will be recording a Modern Warfare 3 video, or specifically a Warzone 3 video, showing you guys a really good setup that I actually have for Warzone. But anyways, we're going to put that to the side. And now, let's talk about Silent Hill, the short message. I will say this right now. This is hands down one of the best Silent Hill games I played in a while. In 10 years, I have never played a really good horror game. And this horror game is amazing. Now, obviously, is it better than, the original 3? Obviously not. It's not. I would say that this is better than Origins, but not better than Silent Hill 4. I think personally it's gonna be a hot take. I think this game is better than PT, like miles better than PT. I don't see this game like being discussed a lot and saying like, oh, this game is not better than PT. Like, personally for me, I think this game is a whole lot better than PT. That's just my opinion though. See, the reason why is because this game actually deep dives into a lot of self-harm, a lot of depression stuff, and that's what I love about the game. Because literally, to me, when I relate to a game, I already know I'm going to love the game. Because legit, all these past dramas that these characters have in the game, I can somewhat relate to it, and it just feels so awful to think that there are actually people that are dealing with this stuff on a daily basis. And that's what's sad about this game too. Like, that's what's so phenomenal, because the game actually, tells you stories about like self-harm, and of course like going to deep dive about like being bullied, and of course having like a bunch of like social media stuff. Like, for example, in this game specifically, there's an article talking about that there's a social media phenomenon where like social media heavily impacts a life of a teenager. Because let's say, for example, the characters right here, we have Maya. Maya has a bunch of followers and a bunch of likes, while the main character that we're playing as right now, Anita, she also has a Twitter or an Instagram, something like that, and she posts pictures, but she barely gets any likes. And when she does like post a picture, she always gets like these comments saying like, oh, you should smile more. And when she does smile, and when she posted a picture of her smiling, she ended up receiving these comments, these disgusting comments. Like, for example, one of them said like, you should be more sexy, try to be more out there, try to show more body, try to show more skin. And that happens in the real world as well. Like, a lot of people, have to deal with this stuff. And who knows, maybe like higher ups like celebrities or even like TikTok stars, they actually deal with this stuff almost 24/7, because there's always going to be people that are always going to have hate on you in social media. They're always going to want to sexualize you in social media. And that's what's so good about this game, because legit, it dives deep into all this stuff, and that's what I love about it. They have the balls to actually show you what it means to actually have a life like this. And pretty much when we're playing as Anita, it's almost like you're the one experiencing all these traumas, and that's what I absolutely love about this game. And that's so amazing to think that why aren't there many games like this anymore? I get it, because this topic that we see right now, you know, with a lot of depression and self-harm, it is very hard to actually dive deep into it if you don't know what you're doing. Because here's the thing, there are games that actually dive deep into this type of stuff, but not to the extent where they actually have to explain like why they're like this or why this is happening. But in this game specifically, they do explain why. That's if you actually explore the game, because this game is like 2 hours long, and if you don't decide to actually explore it, then you won't understand the true meaning behind this game. Because this game is pretty much a message to everyone who actually is dealing with all this stuff. And I think that's why it's called the short message, because basically this game is a message to everyone out there who are actually dealing with this type of stuff, and that's what I like about it. The only way this game is actually very impactful for people is if A, people are actually dealing with this stuff, or B, you're a teenager. Now, the reason why I say you're a teenager is because this game specifically, it's like set around like the 2020s, 2021, in the pretty much in the modern era. And basically it's explaining like the entire thing, like, you know, what happened during the COVID pandemic, what happened after the COVID pandemic, and of course like a lot of bullying. And not only that, like social media actually takes over like how your mood should be. Like, for example, like I already mentioned, like people sexualize you or even hate you, and that's what this game is striving for teenagers. Because if I was being real with you, if you are a teenager right now and you feel like you're dealing with type of stuff, or at least you want to try to you know, understand this type of stuff, go ahead and try this game. The Silent Hill short message will actually make you feel like you're dealing with this along with Anita. And that's what I like about this game. Like I said, you're pretty much dealing with all this stuff, and you're understanding the story of why Anita's like this and why the story is like this. Another thing too I want to talk about is, of course, the atmosphere. I think the atmosphere in this game is absolutely phenomenal. I love the atmosphere. I love the symbolisms that we have here, like for example the sticky notes that are on the wall, and of course like the other world, and of course the cherry blossom monster, which represents Maya, but it pretty much just represents Maya. And not only that, it represents Anita's guilt as well. It's like the pyramid head of Anita, which is absolutely amazing, because in the original Silent Hill 2, Pyramid Head was supposed to be like a monster that actually represents his James' guilt, and pretty much showing him the way to actually, you know, accept himself and finally be able to accept that he's the one that committed all these crimes. And I think it's just the same thing here with the Sakura head. I think the Sakura head is pretty much pushing Anita to actually accept that Maya always recognized her, and that Maya was always her friend. And not only that, showing that Anita was never ignored by Maya, but because of like her past experience and of course her past trauma, she couldn't accept the fact that Maya always recognized her. And that's what's so deep about this game, because, you know, there are people out there that actually deal with this stuff. Like, for example, I'm gonna put one of myself, because honestly I don't really like talking about it, but there is this one time where I did feel like, in a friend group, I always felt like I was being ignored by specific people that I actually do look up to and I actually, you know, cared about. And I feel like I was always out of place. And not only that, I come to accept that, okay, you know, these guys are actually my friends and all that stuff. But with this game specifically, Anita doesn't actually accept it until pretty much like 3 rounds later of this loop. That's when she finally accepts that Maya always recognized her as a friend. And that's what's so good about this game, and how it explains it so well, that all this game has to offer is that there is a bunch of abandonment issues between this character, to the point where she actually ended up doing a lot of sinister stuff. Like, for example, in one of the school section of the game, we actually got a confirmation that Amelie and of course Maya were actually sending letters to each other, talking about their feelings, talking about their past trauma, with Amelie talking about how her parents are very strict and just want her to go to college. And not only that, started seeing a lot of bad stuff towards Amelie. And then with Maya, talks about her love for a guy, and not only that, you know, started getting hatred, but she didn't really care because she's gonna keep pushing that forward, until eventually it got to the point where Maya actually ended up writing a letter talking about how all this hatred she's getting from, you know, social media it actually affected her so much to the point where she actually wants to off herself. And not only that, that letter was supposed to go to Amelie, telling her like, hey, let's get out of here. I want to get out of here. I want to run away with you. I want to leave this place and abandon everything that has to do with this drawings and of course the people that are around me. But the person that actually sabotaged that and actually caused Maya to actually off herself was Anita. And basically in her locker, she actually kept that letter that Maya wrote to Amelie and kept it and hid it away. And to the point where Maya thought that Amelie was one of those people too, and that Amelie actually abandoned her. And to the point where Maya didn't have anyone else, and the best way that she would have resolved all these problems was of course jumping off in Kettenstad, abandoned apartment complex. And that's what's really sad about it, because little things like, for example, hiding something, even if it's a small thing, it could affect someone, and it could actually affect the people around you as well. And that's what the story is all about. Sakura Head is pretty much pushing Anita to actually figure out that, hey, you did this and you need to find out your errors, you need to see your errors, but I also want you to see that I saw you as a friend, Anita. I saw you as a person. Don't think I ever ignored you. I always looked at you. I always noticed you. And that's when in the end of the game, she actually sees a drawing between Anita and of course Amelie. And then the final chase sequence, it pretty much shows like my bad. It pretty much, you have to go through around a specific floor, and you actually have to look for pictures to unlock Maya's studio. And pretty much these pictures shows like, Anita and Maya. No, not Anita, Maya. Maya and Amelie, and some pictures with Amelie by herself, and then Maya by herself. And as soon as she gets into the room, she started seeing the sketchbook and seeing that she always recognized Amelie more, until eventually she looked back and there was a drawing specifically for Anita. And that's when Anita finally recognized that she was never ignored, and she's come to accept the errors of her way. She's come to accept that Maya always recognized her, and she accepted that it was all her fault, and that she couldn't bear with this pain, and that she didn't know what to say to Amelie. That's when in the end of the game, she actually sends message to Amelie telling her like, hey, I'm the one who did this. I'm the one that caused Maya to off herself. I'm the one that ruined both of you guys' friendship, and it's my fault, and I apologize so much. And as soon as she put her phone down, she was about to jump, until eventually she got a call from Amelie again. And then that's when Amelie said like, hey, let's go shopping, let's go talk about it. I want you to talk to me here. I don't want you to feel like you're alone. And that's when it hit her the most, because she wanted to hear that from Amelie for such a long time. Or in fact, she wanted to hear that for such a long time. She just wanted someone to listen to her. And she finally recognized that she's done terrible things, and she can finally come to accept that she did this, and that she can no longer have this trauma. She needs to move on. And I feel like that's where the story ends. I don't know what I hope something, a little bit more spin-off comes out after this. But as soon as that happens, all the sticky notes, all the fog just bloom away like a cherry blossom. And that's what's so beautiful about the ending, because it finally comes to show that Anita finally accepted what she's done, and it finally shows that Maya doesn't have to put her through that hellhole ever again, because now Anita finally recognized what she did was wrong, and that Maya always recognized her as a person, as a friend. And that's what this game is so good. Like, if you ever, like I said, if you ever feel like you're dealing with all this stuff, please contact someone. But not only that, like, it dives deep into so much depression stuff, and that's what's so good about the game, because the game has balls to actually talk about all this stuff, and that's what's so amazing about it. I would give this game a 9 out of 10. I will say this, it is a little bit lackluster when it comes to the monsters. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sakura Head is an amazing concept, which is of course created by the OG who created Pyramid Head. And it's just like, oh my god, the game is just so phenomenal. If you haven't given it a shot, I highly suggest you give it a shot. This game is fucking phenomenal. I absolutely love it. And like I said, if you're ever dealing with this stuff, please contact someone. Contact the people that you love. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I will say this, that this game was just phenomenal. I absolutely adore it. Like I said, I did kind of explain the story for a bit there, but if you guys do want to see a more story driven explanation about this game, then please let me know in the comment section below, and I will try my best to actually, make a story video for this game specifically. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. But yeah, it's been your boy Rizu, and I'll see you guys later with another video. Adios.